Hi guys! Today's video is all about foiling and in particular testing out Paper Cutz' brand new card specifically for foiling. Let's jump in. Now, finding a decent black card to foil on has been the bane of my life for so long. Typically, the biggest problem with this is finding a black card that is smooth enough for the toner to lay down evenly so that the foil can stick to it. Most cardstocks have got a rough surface unless you're going for a gloss, and usually these don't come in colours like black. I have spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds and probably hundreds and hundreds of hours researching how to get the best results on black cardstock. And in the end, I was never happy enough with the results that I got to actually sell my designs. The best I could ever come up with was a patchy finish like this, especially on finer lines. Now, I have been known to call this an antique effect, and you can kind of get away with it on images like this where you want a more rustic effect rather than a completely polished finish. But when you're making things like wedding invitations, brides usually want these pristine, which has meant that I've not been able to venture into this category. So that was why I was overjoyed when Paper Cutz reached out to tell me that they had a brand new item that they wanted me to test. This black cardstock, the link is in the description box down below, comes in both A4 and A3 and in a variety of different GSMs, making it the perfect choice for your foiling needs. Today we're going to put it through its paces, just using a design from Canva, which is going to be able to show us exactly what this stuff can do. We're going to be testing it against the Amazon's Basics A3, which I've trimmed to A4. This is the 160 GSM cardstock that I have used previously for some of my designs, such as my Santa wallets, before I switched to Paper Cutz. So I've still got quite a few sheets hanging around. This little guy here has been printed on Clairefontaine. I have no idea how to pronounce it. You will probably be familiar with this French cardstock, as it is usually a high premium quality cardstock that is mentioned a lot of times in paper crafts. It does have a smoother finish, a lot smoother than the Amazon Basics, and this is from their Maya range, and it is 270 GSM in A4 sheets. This can be a bit tricky to get hold of. It's either out of stock when you try or really expensive. So typically when you're having issues with foiling, it will be down to either the cardstock you use or the printer settings or printer that you're using. So I'm going to show you the exact printer settings that I use for my laser printer. It is a black and white. Some people have reported that using colour laser printers is fine, but others have suggested that using a monochrome laser printer will get you the best results. And you need a toner that has got a high plastic content, and you will usually find that compatible laser cartridges do not work as well. So this means that you need to stick with the branded cartridges. So my laser printer is actually a Brother HL L5050DN, and I've had this for a few years now, probably since about 2020. Now, every single layout for your printer is going to be slightly different, but I'm going to show you exactly the settings I use for mine. So you're going to select properties, and then you're going to change to whichever paper size that you're using, in this case A5. And for my media type, I'm actually going to change it to envelope thick. If that is an option, then definitely do that. It will probably advise you that you need to use the MP tray, but we're going to do that anyway. For the print settings, I am setting them to graphics, and the resolution is at 600 dpi. Now for my paper source, I am already going to select MP tray, as that will just make sure that it takes it from the front of the printer instead. We're then going to hop over to advanced, and I'm going to select other printer options. In density adjustment, I'm removing the printer default and changing this to the darkest. For the improve print output, I'm removing the off and instead selecting improve toner fixing. Then we're going to go down to the eco settings, and we're going to put quiet mode on, as this means that the paper will move much more slowly through the printer, which is exactly what you want to make sure you get the maximum coverage of toner. And that's it. You can always save this as a print profile to save you having to change it each time. Lastly, before we press the print button, we're going to go down to colour management if you're using Affinity Designer, and make sure that colour handling is selected as performed by printer. This just means that Affinity Designer settings won't interfere with the printer settings that we've just made. And you're done. Time to print. Now, before we foil anything, we're actually going to preheat the machine for 15 minutes to 170 degrees. So now that I've adjusted that to 170, I'm going to leave it for 15 minutes and then we're going to come back and start testing out those different cardstocks. Now, before I run anything through the laser printer, I am going to make sure that there is no dust or debris on my card by gently going over it with a very clean, soft brush. This is an unused makeup brush. This just makes sure that there is no lint whatsoever on the cardstock to prevent the toner from sticking to it. Now I'm going to run it through the printer. Now you can see where the laser has laid the toner down on the black cardstock. This one is the standard card. I did remember to write them all on so we can tell them apart. And to make things fair, as I'm using a Foil-It machine by Patsy May, I'm also going to be using some Patsy May foil as well. So similarly to before we start printing, I'm going to dust off the actual cardstock itself to make sure that there is nothing on there, and the same with the foil to make sure that there is no microscopic bits of dust or lint that would stop the foil from sticking on. So we are now going to use just a single piece of 120 GSM A4 paper folded in half, just to keep the foil in place whilst it's going through the Foil-It machine. You can use the carrier sheets, but when you are foiling on thicker card, it's more important to make sure that you have something thinner to hold it in place, whereas the carrier sheets for the mink folders are quite thick. I will just show you one of those now. Okay, so these are quite dirty. I use them a lot if I'm using multiple bits of foil that I need to be able to see whether or not they're in place. There's so many different toner marks on this. This would come off with a bit of acetate, but because this happens so often, I generally just leave it. But as you can see, these are quite thick, and as the Foil-It machine can only handle, I think it's 300 or 350 GSM in total to actually distribute the heat properly, that's why we are using a sheet of paper just to hold everything in place. So you can see here I've actually cut the foil bigger than I need. It is better to have too much and have it shift slightly rather than not enough and then have it shift and not cover the design. So now it's time to feed that into the machine. We are currently at 178 degrees. So that means that it is plenty hot enough for me to feed this through. And we're going to start with the creased side of the paper first, so that nothing risks getting jammed. It's really important with this foil that you do not peel it until it is cool, especially on cardstock like the black. Gloss is a little bit more forgiving, but a matte cardstock, you should ideally be waiting until it is completely cool before you do that. So whilst that's cooling down, I'm going to do exactly the same with the Clairefontaine and the brand new paper Cutz version. First up, we are going to start with the standard Amazon 160 GSM black card. So as you can see here, this is super duper patchy. The toner hasn't really laid down evenly at all, so it's not really a great finish. And if we have a look on the foil, you can see just how much has been left behind. And this is just gaps on the card where the toner hasn't been placed properly. So moving on to my cardstock that I have used previously for anything on black, and it is the Clairefontaine. It's French. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but it is their Maya range, and I usually use this in 270 GSM, and up until this point it was the best one that I had found to foil with for black card. So if we peel this off, we can see that that is a huge difference when we compare it with the standard. So if I give you a close-up there, you can see this here is the standard and this one is the Maya. There is still some patches that is left. Although this is a super smooth card, I have been unable to get a perfect finish with it. So now we have the final reveal for the paper cuts. Now, as you can see, yes, there are some small amounts of the toner missing, but when you compare it to the standard, it is literally a whole world apart. And even with my usual posh Clairefontaine one, you can see, especially at the bottom here in exactly the same area, the Paper Cutz cardstock picks up so much more toner compared to this Maya card. I am absolutely blown away in the quality difference, and this means that I might finally be able to start offering this as an item in my shop, because I am very happy with the quality here. I have been researching for 5 years to find a black cardstock that manages to foil this well, and I am over the moon that Paper Cutz have managed to deliver. The cardstock is available in lots of different sizes and thicknesses, which means that it is perfect for a variety of different crafts. Okay, so if we go along here, on the end we have got the Amazon Basics, completely patchy and unusable. In the middle we have got the Clairefontaine Maya, which is definitely better than the Amazon Basics, but still quite patchy. And on the end is our clear winner, and it is the Paper Cutz new super smooth cardstock. Even when you compare it to the Maya, it is completely different. There is so much more better coverage than the other two. So now obviously, as I mentioned, there are some teeny tiny specks that still haven't caught the toner, but it is definitely not as noticeable as it is with this one. Now, in previous attempts, I have run prints through the laser printer twice. Now this obviously comes with a big margin of error, because if your printer doesn't take in exactly the correct way at the same angle, etc., then it means that the print will be off. It won't overlay each other nicely and it will be unusable. So it is not something that I recommend for items that you're going to sell, because of the wastage and the time would just be too great. But I am definitely happy with how this has turned out, and I will be introducing these to my shop. So let's get down to figures, because when you are running a small business or even crafting at home, prices do play an important part in your decision-making process. I am sure we can all agree that the Amazon Basics isn't really worth mentioning. They are cheap, and they are cheap for a reason. It's not something that I would suggest using for foiling. It does have its applications. As I said, I have previously used it in the past for embellishments for my paper cut items. It does cut fairly well for simple shapes like squares and rectangles, not so great on anything intricate, which is why I now have switched to the Paper Cutz versions. Moving on to the Clairefontaine Maya, when I have had a look online, as I mentioned previously, finding something that is not super thin and is available in black is somewhat tricky. In my own research, the 270 GSM foiled okay before it became too thick for my Foil-It machine to adhere to. And if you remember, that's why we use the paper transfer folder, just to keep everything in place, rather than using my Mink actual transfer folders because they're too thick. So when I've had a look online today, the cheapest that I could find it was from a third-party site. Unfortunately, 270 GSM doesn't seem to be available on Amazon, and that has meant that the third-party site does have high postage fees associated with it. As a small business owner, I completely get that. Royal Mail's prices have recently gone up, so it is very tricky to try and absorb that cost. When I did a price by price comparison breakdown, if you were to purchase 25 sheets of this and obviously pay for the postage and packaging, on the third party site you would be looking at 66p per sheet. So it's not terrible, but obviously anybody that foils knows that there is a high percentage of waste involved where things just don't turn out as you had hoped. So you need to use multiple sheets in some instances for orders. So for the similar comparison, I have used in the demonstration today the 250 GSM Super Smooth cardstock by Paper Cutz. And including their £3.99 postage and packaging charge, if you were to purchase 25 sheets of that, you would be looking at only 51p a sheet. And obviously spread over the 25 sheets, that's 15p a sheet is quite a significant difference. And when you bear in mind that Paper Cutz often runs promotions, such as at the moment, if you spend over £29, you get 10% off of your total order in the basket, obviously excluding postage and packaging. That's really going to bring up the prices down. So if you were to stock up, you could be making some mega savings there. So now that I have found this great alternative, I am going to be creating lots of crafty things with this foiling method. I would also suggest that you check it out for yourself if you have a Mink or a Foil-It machine, or even a Amazon Basics laminator is supposed to work really well. If you have any comments or questions about today's video, please drop them in the box down below and I will make sure I get back to you. A great big thank you to Paper Cutz for not only sponsoring today's video, but releasing this fantastic card. If you do purchase and make anything with this, I would love to know. Share your photos on Instagram and remember to tag me at GBG Designs. If you aren't already following me, hit the follow button, like, subscribe, share it with all of your crafty friends. We are building a super creative community over here, and I love all of your comments, questions and photos that I get via email and DMs. They really do make this all so worth it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!